He's doing it, we all know why. Because he doesn't want Canadians to have too much time to see how much he is ill-prepared to face the economy, how much he has difficulties with some ethical problems, and he doesn't want to see the results of by-elections. Je lui ai demandé comment il se faisait.
I asked him how it was that he had asked or called 3 by-elections because only one was absolutely necessary. And Sunday he called a 4th one in Don Valley West, and then on Monday he started talking about a general election, and I asked him what happened during that night to ask supporters to work a whole summer to use the taxpayers' money for nothing. But I didn't get an answer. The Prime Minister is not going to respect the fixed date election legislation that he himself proposed and got passed in the House. He wants to revisit the whole definition of that legislation in a way that is inelegant and that does not show any respect for the truth. So I told him all of that. I'm convinced that he wants to hold an election for the reasons I already mentioned, and I wanted to tell him that myself so that I could report to my caucus, and he could not. I told him he could not see this as a way of saving face, and that it was really unfortunate that he had so little respect for the rule of law here in Canada.
Oh yes, and we all know that.
Did you tell him over the next 12 months?
This is the kind of confusion he wanted to do. Confusion between the Parliament working and the minority government having life expectancy to be certain. There is no way a minority government will have certainty about life expectancy.
But you've told us for the last 12 months you'll choose the time of the next election. You've said you're going to bring them down many times. Did you go in and say, yes, we'll bring you down whenever we feel like it, or let's wait until the fixed election date?
I told them that every minority government will face this situation. It was the case last year. There's nothing new. And when he asked me, do we have common ground about the orientation of the country, I said, you and me so know that the answer is no. It has never been yes. And last year, he was not speaking about this way, saying we need to call an election. There is no reason to call an election from him and to break the spirit of his life, not the lie itself, except for crass politics.
If Parliament can function, what kind of issues will you be focusing on, and what could you cooperate with Mr. Harper on in the next few months? Well, certainly not the way he is managing the country, or the way he's managing the food crisis, or dealing with culture and arts, or the economy. There is no agreement on there, but there wasn't one 6 months or 12 months ago. There's nothing new there. It's nothing but an excuse. This is a decision that every opposition party has to make. The law doesn't prevent the opposition parties from manifesting their lack of confidence in the government, but it does prevent the Prime Minister from going to the Governor-General and calling an election whenever he feels like it. He shouldn't have passed that bill. Passing a bill and then not abiding by it is a very poor message to send to the people of Canada. He has to give an example.
October of 2009. Did he ask you to support his government until October of 2009?
Yes, he did, but it's a joke. Never a minority government will receive from any political party a blank check, and he knows that.
You refuse?
Did he tell you that?
Yes, I refuse, obviously.
Did he tell you?
Because he's confusing two things. Does the Parliament work? The answer is yes. Does the government have the certainty to survive? The answer is no. And there has always been no. It has been no 2 years ago. It has been no 1 year ago. There's nothing new. So he's trying to confuse two things.
Did he tell you there is going to be an election, that he's going to call it now?
Yes, there will be an election.
But did he tell you?
Yes, official, they will have an election. And he decided that in a way. This is only a charade, une mise en scène, and we all know that. I wanted to tell him that face to face and to tell him that it's unacceptable from a Prime Minister to not respect the rule of law.
The fixed election date law.
What will be the ballot issue when Canadians do go to vote? What do you think they'll be voting about? What will be most in their mind?
One of the issues will be trust. Can you trust a Prime Minister who called an election, triggered an election, while not respecting his own law? This will be certainly one issue. But let's say the way he's mismanaging the economy, attacking our arts and culture, mismanaging food safety will be also an issue, and I told him that.
What was the reaction of the Prime Minister when you told him you thought this was just a charade? Sorry, he wasn't happy. So did he say to you, we're going to have an election? I mean, I knew that anyway, and I wanted to meet with him face to face to tell him how irresponsible it is for him to not abide by the rule of law.
Conversation about him joining the Green Party in the last few days?
No.
Est-ce que vous êtes toujours d'accord à ce qu'Elisabeth May participe au débat télévisé, M. Dion?
Oui.
Now that it looks like there is going to be an election, are you looking forward to it?
We are ready and we intend to win this election because the gulf of differences between us and this very conservative government is so obvious. How much our vision and action plan for the country is much more generous and ambitious to a richer, fairer, greener Canada. I'm very confident.
Where are you going to get the money? You're already in hock now.
Okay.
Where are you going to get the money?
We have the money, we have the team, we have the vision, we have the leadership, and we are very confident the Canadians will recognize that.
Do you not think it'll be difficult for you to sell the green shift to Canadians? No, quite the opposite. Everywhere I go, the rooms are full, people are enthusiastic, people will be getting tax cuts as a result of this plan, and they want us to do this seriously.